And mayor, and miss, and Sam.
The girlfriend went back home.
It's all.
Next game next Friday.
I told them that, and the announcements they said, but that's,
Next Friday because it's the next game.
yeah.
Our son-in-law.
No,
No.
I mean, that's what I meant. That's fine.
But they sold that, they sold the home for $10
Yeah,
million.
there's more.
No, there's no winter.
That's right. What do you call what's the hurdle?
No, she did, she helped the agents on it.
Like 40 years later.
No, it's the commission check. And that's why they. Get the commission.
How much I got?
Talk about mixing up names, something I call cinnamon Benjamin. The same number of syllables.
Right.
My friend just got a.
It's like 5 days. It'd be good. All right. Okay. So right now, she's just with the family friends, Noah and Michael. Helen. So she's covered. She's not floating out.
Although she said.
It's just 5 days. Oh, yeah. Quick trip. Thank you.
I'm sure she said it.
Make sure it's on silent.
Oh, really?
Picture.
They feel that there were mistakes in the contract as the buyers both lawyers.
So, thank you.
One's a judge, one's a lawyer.
It's like.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, well, she's Persian inside.
Oh.
Hey, how are you?
How you doing?
I like the linen shirt. Look at you. Yes, that's
Trying.
stay nice and cool. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, here, all four of us were up there for a moment last week. It's the same. Yeah,
Sure, of course.
We have her piece. I graduated my piece. That's where I graduated. Family is great. Yeah, it hurts. Jane feels terrible. Jane feels terrible. Jane feels terrible. Never been touched.
Oh, right. There you show. Yeah, don't. It's important. Hey, Rich. How did you go out?
Back here. I'm bouncing around.
Live in the presidency.
There's no every
Shabbat shalom.
It's so nice to be out here. Thank you, Cantor Adam, Shai, Tara. We're on the cusp, 48 hours of the month of Elul, and I just want to share. There's this little exchange between a teacher and a student, And the teacher asked the student's name was Janie. Janie, what's further away? Australia? I don't know which way to point. Or the moon? What is it? What's the right answer? What's further away? Good, exactly, the moon. Except what did Jamie say? Australia, because you can see the moon at night. But I'm fun. It's a cute little joke. At moments points us to the moon. It points us. The moon is powerful because helps us to start again. Rosh Chodesh is about Chodesh is the newness of the Rosh, of the mind, of ideas, of the feelings, of heart. It's the head of the beginning. Chodesh is new and it means moon. Okay, and it's interesting. Chadash is new. Chodesh is month. And I want to connect this. Tara's going to do this a lot more throughout the evening. But I want to connect it through the little piece of paper I gave you. Forgive us for all the paper tonight. But on the side of the page that there's just a bunch of letters. It's just a bunch of letters, right? I mean, it's just a bunch of letters. Or it's not just a bunch of letters. It reads. I can read that, right? Marcy, you saw it. You read it. So it's like everything. Can we see the hidden message in the jumble? Can we see some meaning, some question, some idea in the mishmash of letters? I can read that. We all get that. I want to close this with one final little play, which is on the other side of the page of the jumble of letters. And this happens to be usually I would raise this when we're talking about the letter nun, because the letter nun is missing in certain places in our tradition, like the daily ashrei, and it stands for the nun, the word nafal, which means to fall, which is actually why it's not part of the acronym, the acrostic in this prayer, because we don't want to think about falling. But I'm not going to actually take any answers out loud, but notice the reason I bring this is because it's all about where you place the comma. Why am I saying that? It's all about where you place the comma. And where we read into a sentence commas makes a big difference in our lives, right? Or if we read a question mark as opposed to an exclamation mark. If we read it as a ... So the first way of reading this sentence in Hebrew, and of course in the Bible and the Torah, there are no commas. There's no punctuation whatsoever. The first way to read, the Hebrew is nifla lo tosikum, which if you put the comma after the and, it says she has fallen. She meaning the Jewish people, and will rise no more. But actually, you can reread the verse in a different way, and some beautiful commentators have. Instead of putting the comma at the beginning, you put it at the very, almost at the end, before the last word. In which case it means she has fallen, but no more. Rise up. You get the difference? She has fallen and will rise no more, or she has fallen, but no more. Rise up. In Hebrew, you don't have subject, verb, object, and so I think this points to the theme that Tara's going to focus on, which is the theme of seeing. How do we see? How do we interpret it? How to read? And it's a beautiful verse and mishmash of letters and little exchange between a teacher and a student. So with that, we will light the Shabbat candles.
Calling up Roberta Lula, thinking of her beloved Shelley. Birthday is today. So it's the Shabbat candle. It's a candle of light, and light is a
Eat,
candle
love,
of
pray,
memory.
right, Roberta? Eat, love, pray. Pray, love. It's an inside joke. Not joke, inside thought.
Shel Shabbat.
Amen. Thank you. We turn to page 12 to offer Psalm 95, page 12. Page 18.
Look where we think the ride might be coming in. It's 22.
Indented part of the page.
So tonight's sermon will be a story. So leading up to the story, I want to do just a little text study. We're throwing a lot of paper at you. Can you find this one? Thank you, ushers. So we are at Parshat Re'eh this week, getting ready, as Mayor said, for the month of Elul. And just to take the opening words, Re'eh, see, Anochi noten lifnechem hayom, I'm placing before you today, bracha v'klala, a blessing and a curse. So the whole evening tonight, we're going to look at the idea of seeing, what it means to see. Adina got contacts this week. Crazy. So we'll just look at one teaching now. Anyone feel like reading some English? The Kli Yakar, coming to us from Prague in the 1600s. Someone strong a voice. Go, Elaine.
See, I place before you today. See is singular. Before you is plural. This is what our sages teach us. A person must always view things as if the entire world is half righteous and half wicked. If one performs a single mitzvah, they tip themselves and the entire world to the side of merit. Therefore, Moshe spoke to each individual. See, that one should see in their thought that every single action affects all of them.
Beautiful. So this is just drawing our attention to the fact that the command comes to the individual. But then, lifnechem, it affects the entire community. The choice to see, to not see, to notice, comes right down to the you. Okay. Thank you, Cantor, for pausing. We are going to begin now.
We're actually going to be on page 26. Yikada v'yikada shemei haba Yamad v'raktiv yamlich malchutei V'chayetonu yomeichon U'chayedecho b'ek Yisrael V'ala v'ala U'mizman kagi v'yimeru Leila min kol birchata v'shirata Tushkata v'nehemata Yamirat ve'alma v'yimeru
So we'll do another.
You may be seated.
Okay, you may be seated. But Jewish calisthenics. Could we have someone take on the voice of Sforno from Italy? Again, we're going back a ways. A half a millennium. Anyone? Second box. Great.
Pay good attention so that you will not be like the nations of the world who relate to everything half-heartedly. Always try to find middle ground. Remember that I present you this day with the choice of two extremes, opposites. The
Bracha.
bracha is an extreme in that it provides you with more than you need, whereas the
Lala.
lala is the another extreme, making sure that you have less than your basic needs. You have the choice of both before you. All you have to do is make a choice.
So this idea of seeing is a pretty radical choice. To see the world as top loaded with blessing or top loaded with curse. And it's set before us today. Or to, let's see what kind of a call that is.
Shelley.
Maviviyomu mehivilayla, makirbenyamu benayla, Adonai tzevot shemo, Elai v'kayah, Tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Amari v'haradi. יהיו חיינו ויורך ימינו, ובהם נהגה יומם ולילה, באהבתך. אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד, ברוך שם כבוד, מלכותו לעולם ועד. נא לשבת.
36.
בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום עליך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בשיתך בביתך ולכתך בדרך ושוכבך ותחומך וקשרתם מאוד על ידיך והיו לטוטפות עיניך וחתן על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם לכל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
One more short teaching with the bottom of the page, brachot. We're actually taught that when are you supposed to say the Shema in the morning? How do you know it's enough light in the morning that you can say the Shema? It's when you can
Read it.
see your friend, read it, see your friend's face. See your friend's face. So on that topic, yes, I had the feeling this was going to be a question.
Yehoshua then said, one who sees his friend after 30 days have passed, is blessing and recites, blessed who has given us life, sustained us, and brought us to this time. One who sees his friend after 12 months recites, blessed who revives the dead.
So this blessing feels so relevant as we come back from our COVID corners to see when we haven't really seen each other in so long. It's a miracle of new life to see the face. So in the subject of theming, the subject of seeing the incredible miracle and blessing of seeing one another. Hashki Venu is on. Oh no, sorry. Vikamoka 40.
ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם, משה ומרים ובני ישראל פעלו שירה ושמחה רבה ויאמרו כולם, מתהפוך האלים אדוני, מתהפוך נדר בקודש, נורא נגילו עושה מלכות קראו בניך, אוקיי הים לפני משה ומרים, זנגי ענו ויאמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר כי בדה אדוני את יעקב, ולא מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני על ישראל.
42.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, ועמידנו שומרנו, שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, ועמידנו שומרנו, שומרנו לחיים. ופרוס עלינו, סוכת שלומך. ופרוס עלינו, סוכת שלומך. ברוך אתה אדוני הבורא סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמות ישראל ועל ירושלים.
Here, Kevo, turn it over. I don't know what the extra sheet is for. It's for you to write the story of your life. Here, Kevo, someone?
He, Rabban Yochanan, said unto them, go forth and observe which is the right way to which a man should lead. Rabbi Eliezer said, good eye. Rabbi Joshua said, a good companion. Rabbi Yossi said, a good neighbor. Rabbi Shimon said, foresight. Rabbi Elazar said, a good heart. A good eye. One who suffices with what he has and does not seek extraneous things, and is not envious when he sees that his fellow has more than him.
So this idea, if you look at the Hebrew, an ayin tova, a good eye. I've heard this phrase in sort of spiritual practice groups to hold the world with a soft gaze, with a gentleness. There's a way we can look with fire. I do those thunderbolt eyes as a mother often. There's something about an ayin tov, a choice to see the world with a sense of gratitude and gentleness. Continuing with the Shamru 44.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, וקרבם בריתודה. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, וקרבם בריתודה. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, וקרבם בריתודה. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, וקרבם בריתודה. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, וקרבם בריתודה. Adonai,
46 down in your body.
Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu, Ve'imoteinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. El Haggadol הגיבור והתורה, אל עליון, קומל חסדים קוראים, וקומלי הכל, וזוכר חסי אבות ואימהות, והביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שלו ויהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, baruch atah Adonai, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה כולם להושיע, מוריד ההדר, וכלכל חיים בחסד, וחיי הכל רחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא מונים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו, משני אחת, משפחתו על כבודו, ומגמלה, ולפי ומחייב, ומצמיח ישועה. ונאמן אבל החיות הכל. baruch atah Adonai, וחיינו הכל. אתה קדוש, שמך קדוש, קדושים בכל יום, ירנו בסלע. baruch atah Adonai. Standing or seated, and we'll come back together in a few moments. and extra private meditations, feel free to join me on page 60. If you're still continuing at your own pace, feel free to do so as we pray for the great completeness, the great peace, even prayer for peace. Shalom Rachel Yisrael Amcha, Hasid Leolam. Shalom Rachel Yisrael Amcha, Hasid Leolam. Shabbat Melech Adon, Lechol HaShalom. Shabbat Melech Adon, Lechol HaShalom. Shalom Rachel Yisrael Amcha, Hasid Leolam. Shalom Rachel Yisrael Amcha, Hasid Leolam. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל, בכל עת ובכל שעה לשלומך. על ישראל עמך, חסיד לעולם. Shalom Rachel Yisrael Amcha, Hasid Leolam. Hasid Leolam. Hasid Leolam. Baruch atah Adonai, המברך את עמו ישראל.
Bridging now to our prayer for healing, Mayor and I will walk through the aisles. If there's anyone whose name you want to offer aloud for Misha Barak, our healing prayer, please do so.
Myself.
Page 253. May the souls of rain who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
So on the theme of sight and seeing on this Shabbat Re'eh, a story about a mirror. A beautiful big mirror that hung on a noble man's wall. It was square and heavy, took up almost the whole length of the wall. Big gilded golden frame with leaves and flowers etched into it. It was his pride and joy, but it was strange when people would come to visit his beautiful salon, see this mirror, they would notice that the corner been all kind of scratched and scuffed. It was like dark. They wondered why he wouldn't fix it. I mean, he was a nobleman. He had the resources, but such it was, never fixed. So this is the story of why. So this guy, Abraham, he was a shop owner in Poland. All my stories are from Poland. And he had a little store. It wasn't too big, but it wasn't too small. It was enough to make a living. And, you know, many times customers, they wouldn't find exactly what they wanted, so they'd have to go somewhere else, but it was enough. And he could feed his family. And whenever someone came to visit, they never left his house hungry. And if a beggar came to the door, there was always a little tzedakah to give. So it went on. He managed his store, went to shul on occasion, took care of his family. And one day he was standing at the doorway to his little shop. It was a quiet afternoon, and he saw a stranger come into town. It was a little town, so you always knew if someone new was passing through. And as always, he walked up to the guy and he said, "Do you need a place to stay? Do you need anything?" And the man said, "Actually, yeah, could I stay for the night?" And so Avram brought him home and did his usual hospitality. You know, the furniture was a little worn, the house needed a little paint, the cups were a little chipped, but it was a happy house. It was a warm house. Everyone always felt welcome. And so did this man. Now, little did Avram know, this was actually a very, very famous rabbi that was passing through on his way to officiate at a wedding in the next town over. Yes, the night at Avram's house, and then he goes to leave the next morning. And before walking out the door, he turns and he says, "Abraham, I want to bless you. I want to bless you for the beautiful, Hachnasat Orchim, welcoming guests. It's such a big mitzvah. I want to wish you parnasa, osher, everything good." And he kisses him on the top of the kepi, and a rabbinic blessing is a very powerful thing. And he goes on his way. Now, of course, Avram didn't know it was a rabbinic blessing. He was just being nice to this passer through. But he started to notice over the course of the coming weeks and then months that, business started to pick up. There were more and more people coming through the store, and before he knew it, he had to get more merchandise, and then he was going on business trips to get more stuff, and more people were coming. He bought a bigger store. The money was just rolling in. He moved into a bigger house. He was really like sitting pretty. Things were going so well, and life was good. Except, even though he was in a bigger house, he didn't really have too much time to be going to the bigger house because he was always like trying to make sure that no one was going to break into the store and to buy more inventory in the spreadsheets. Oh my gosh, he could do whatever. He was busy. He was doing well. And it was about a year from that rabbi's visit. And the rabbi actually, he needed to help somebody. There was a righteous man who had been wrongfully accused of a crime. He was imprisoned, and the whole community was coming together to get a ransom to get him out of jail. So the rabbi was like, "Who can I ask for money?" He thought of Abraham. So he sent a messenger to go to Abraham's house to get some money to help this poor soul that was in prison. The messenger shows up. Well, Abraham no longer greeted people at the door. He was too busy. He was on a business trip. But his secretary met the messenger at the door, gave him a little money. The guy went back to the rabbi. The rabbi says, "Oh my gosh, wasn't it amazing? Didn't you have like such a warm and beautiful experience at Abraham's house?" And the messenger was like, "Well, I got some money, but I didn't really speak to Avram." So the rabbi knew he had to go back and check things out. Travels to the next town, visits Abraham, who happens to be home, and Abraham recognizes a familiar face, invites him in, says, "You have to see this beautiful new house that I have. Come into my salon." He brings it into this room with these heavy velvet drapes and this beautiful mirror. "Has everything changed, Rabbi?" And the rabbi's like, "It certainly has, yes." And the rabbi walks over to the window. He pulls open the velvet drapes. He says, tell me about some of the people you see outside. And Abraham was like, oh, right, there's Yankel, the water drawer. Oh my gosh, it looks like his back is hurting him more than usual. I haven't watched him in a while. Oh, and there's Rivka with her, oh, she's had a new baby. She always sits there and begs on the corner. Oh, and there's the tailor. He's just coming back from morning minyan. And the rabbi says, wow, you know a lot about these townspeople. And Abraham says, yeah, I do. And then the rabbi lets the drapery fall and he walks it back to the mirror. He says, what do you see in the mirror? Abraham says, myself. And then the rabbi says, it's really interesting. Both a mirror and a window, they're both made of glass. But the thing that happens with a mirror is it gets silver painted on the back that reflects back. And you only see yourself. You can't see through. And all of a sudden, I realized that all of this silver, all of this abundance, all of this stuff, it kept him from ever looking out the window. He bid the rabbi farewell, and that night he had a big feast. He invited everyone from the town. Yankel and Rivka and everyone came, and no one left empty-handed, and he sent them on their way, smiling and laughing. And then he went back to the mirror and he took out a knife and he scraped off that corner where the silver was to make it perfectly translucent. And so it remained. So I'm offering you this story because I think Elul, this month that is almost upon us, is a moment to actually look in the mirror, But even more than that, it's a month to try to look through the mirror and to try to remember the ways in which we're connected to that which is beyond ourselves. And maybe our glass has gotten a little schmutzy, the stuff that reflects back at us. Maybe it's our own self-judgment or our own ego or all the other stuff that gets in the way of looking through. But the invitation of Elul is to open the window and to look. So I want you to go back to that sheet, one last teaching, very, very brief. There's actually a cool passage which you can take home and read later about how it's the physics or the optics of what it means to see things, but it's too complicated for now. Let's go to Ecclesiastes. Just an incredible verse. Dibarti ani im libi. The translation says, I said to myself, but really im libi is, I said with my heart. I spoke with my heart. Here I've grown richer and wiser than any that ruled before me over Jerusalem. The libi ra'ah, and my heart has seen much wisdom and learning. Wait, you don't see with the heart. Or maybe you do. I think that's the invitation of Elul, the month that calls us Ani Ledodi V'Dodi Li. I am my beloved's and my beloved is mine. That's the acronym of Elul. May we try to see with the heart. May we try to see through whatever is clouding our vision. And may we enter into a new year of tremendous vision and hope, but a vision that begins from the inside. Amen.
We continue with Elenu on page 282. Please rise. Alleluia, Shabbat Adon Hakol, Atei Dilami Otzebereshi, Shelo Asanu Kiboye Aratzon, Shelo Samanu Kimishpefuna Adonai, Shelo Salper Kirupahem, Shelo Aleinu Keponen Mohonam, Va'anachnu Kori, Umishahalinu Moni. Malchei Hamachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, V'ne'eman Adonai, V'ne'eman kol ha'aretz,
We remember loved ones. And this week, remember, just passed, Edith Moody, mother of Debbie Cohen and David's here, daughter-in-law Jane. Remember in the past 30 days, Beth Meyer, Linda Roberts, Bruce Rubin. Let the rise, please feel free to do so. Call and we'll call the names of the loved ones. Remember those whose Yorts tags this Shabbat of this past week. Irving Albert, Jerry Fuhrer, Rosalind Cohen, Henrietta Feinblatt, Ray Finkelstein, Edith Grossman, Maxwell Goldstein, Diane Horowitz, Madeline Kern, Bernard Levin, Lisa Lott Monaster, Rebecca Weiner, Edward Tellis, Lori Singer. Right. Rebecca Weiner's name. Their memories be for a blessing. If you are remembering someone whose name is not on the list, or if I mispronounce, forgive me, and feel free to rise and share the name of the loved one. If it's your custom to rise with the mourners, please feel free to do so. Kadisha Tom, Mourners Cottage, room 294. 294. Ikadal, Ikadash, Shemen Rabba. Amen. Yalmad, Yivrath, Yivtei, Yamit, Motutei. Vayachon, Yamechon, Vayeh, Yavol Beit Yisrael. Agalav, Yizman, Karim, V'yimur, Amen. Yehei, Shmei, Rabba, Mubarak, Ve'elam, V'oleh, Amen. Yiparak, V'yishtabach, Yiparak, Yiparam, V'yitnaseh. Yitadar, Yaleh, Yitalam, Shmei, Kushab, Richu. Ve'ela, Mikol, Birchata, V'shirata. Tishkachata, V'yechemata. Amiram, V'yama, V'imru, Amen. Yehei, Shlama, Rabba, Min, Shemaya. V'chaim, Aleinu, V'yalkol, Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. Oseh Shalom, V'yama. Hu Yaseh Shalom. Aleinu, V'yalkol, Yisrael, V'imru. Amen. Lord, please tell me and I. Bring peace to us as well as Israel. Let us say, Amen. Amen. Please be seated unless your name is Gary Slovan. And we get to say hello to you, Gary. Shabbat Shalom. Wonderful to share this.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
So all these Feldmans are in New York.
No,
That's unbelievable. Congratulations.
one's in California.
Oh, who's in
Actually,
California?
one just scooted up to California.
Oh, I
She's
see.
on the continent.
I can't keep track of
I
that.
did
Always moving around. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Shabbat shalom. Let's do the announcements. But before I read the announcements to you, there's two really important anniversaries this month. Okay. August 10th is 25 years since my beautiful wife decided to marry me. Right up the here, Emmanuel. So it's a big anniversary for us. And it's also the 45th anniversary when Pierre Brezhnev said to the Jews of the Soviet Union, if you want to leave, you can leave. And my parents took 5-year-old me, 4-year-old me, and we left Odessa, former Soviet Union, 45 years ago this month. So pretty important anniversary in my family. And I always think about it and reflect on it when silly things in life bother us, when we face difficulties that are really maybe not so difficult. I think about what my 50-year-old self, Jew, in Odessa, Ukraine, what my life would be like right now. It wouldn't be as good as here. I wouldn't be our president. I wouldn't have the family like this. So I'm always very grateful for what my parents did for me, All right. Torah study and Shabbat morning services tomorrow, online only. We can keep it online for a little while so we can sort things out. The ups and downs of the COVID roller coaster. Whenever we think we're out, pulls us back in, right? So hopefully there'll be a downswing soon and we can get back to doing some more things in person. Saturday, August 7th, activity and dessert Havdalah at Temple Beth-El at 7:30. Sisterhood friends welcome all congregants to usher in a sweet week with Havdalah in the Reuben Garden. Recycle. Bring along some clear plastic lids that you'd like to dispose of. We will transform so-called junk into fun decorations for the TBE Sukkah. You may bring your own Havdalah set. Is this your idea, Adam?
It wasn't actually,
No?
just my.
It was mine.
Okay. All right, very nice. You've rubbed off on others. We have every Monday at 7:30 to 11:30 Israeli folk dancing with instructor Miriam Handler. It's $15 a session. Everyone's welcome. History discussion group on Wednesdays from 1 to 3 p.m. Participants give lectures on topics of historic interest. Contact Ed Joseph. On 8/18, there's a program on Black soldiers in the Civil War with Misha Schwartz. August 11th, 13th, and 15th is the Take a Book event. So we're offering up books from the library. So come to the library, see what you like. Welcome to take it. There's a lot of really great stuff in there. Monday, September 6th, very exciting, very soon. High holidays are coming. There'll be a lot more information that will be distributed. We will have different options for different people who would like to worship in different ways. Those who are going to want to worship in person will have a safe way to do it here. Those who want to worship at home, don't feel comfortable coming here, we will have high quality streaming to your home, so you'll be able to worship at home. Who knows what will be in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Things change very quickly these days, but I assure you that we will do everything we can to provide for a safe environment for everybody, and we will roll with the punches and make sure that everything is done the right way. The choir is back. You can contact Cantor Adam Davis to participate if you'd like to do that. Okay, we want to know about you. Our congregation and clergy care about you. We want to know what is happening in your life. Let us know via email or call on how we can support you and celebrate with you. During the summer, we will print monthly Shabbat programs. The next one is at the end of August. Names for Kaddish will be read each week. Thank you to the rabbis. Thank you for everything you do, and thank you for the beautiful service. Thank you, Cantor. Beautiful music, and shy, as always. Thank you, that lady over there hiding in the window. Jackie, thank you for all the work that you do and all the technical support that you're providing. Always appreciate that. Thank you to our ushers, Elaine Springer and Phil Perlman. And thank you to the Margolon family for the challah, as always, and to our Onik bakers, Roberta Lulo, Ronit Pearl, and Linda Diamond. Thank you very much. Shabbat Shalom. Have a wonderful week.
Happy anniversary.
Powerful, Gary. Sharing is an anniversary. It's 25 years of marriage, 45 years of freedom. Am I overstating it? I don't know. I just want to make two quick. I think Israeli dancing is Wednesday night.
No, it's changed to Monday.
It's Monday now. Okay. The other, I won't share one other thought about what Gary shared, that the Torah study is virtual. I just want to, for anyone who's confused by that, it's understandable to be confused by that. There's a small group of people who come in person, and then there's a larger group of people, 2 or 3 times that, who are virtual. if we're in person and we've been indoors, I guess we could consider doing Torah study outdoors. But we've been indoors, which means we're masked. And be masked and trying to teach to a virtual community or group of people is really hard. So for anyone who's confused, you have good reason to be, and it's kind of a brain twister, a mind twister, but that's where we are, hopefully just for a brief. So with all of that, douche,
Let's call up this little back row group here.
come on, Freeman and Aaron, come on up.
Front page
This way is up.
5.
Violet, where are you going? Aaron, what are you doing?
Let's all rise so they don't feel lonely.
Come.
ויפלו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם, ויפל אלוהים ביום השביעי, מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישפוט ביום השביעי, מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה, ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי, ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו, אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות.
Great.
ושבת קודשו לאהבה ורצון, נפילנו זיכרון למעשה ובראשית. הוא יום תפילה למקראי קודש, ספר לתפילת מצרים. עמנו בחרת, יותנו קידשת, מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון. הנחלתנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השם לחיים.
Okay, girls, hold it up high. Join in with them.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, המוציא לחם מן הארץ. We're going to finish on page 353. Odabo shalom aleinu, Odabo shalom aleinu, Odabo shalom aleinu, ve'akulam. Odabo shalom aleinu, Odabo shalom aleinu, Odabo shalom aleinu, ve'akulam. Salam aleinu ve'akol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Salam, aleinu ve'akol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Odabo shalom aleinu, Odabo shalom aleinu, Odabo shalom aleinu ve'akol. Odabo shalom aleinu, Odabo shalom aleinu, Odabo shalom aleinu ve'akol. Salam, aleinu ve'akol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Salam, aleinu ve'akol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Odabo shalom aleinu, Odabo shalom aleinu, Odabo shalom aleinu ve'akol.
It'll help Nancy